What is up, everybody? Welcome into Crushing Fantasy Football. I've got a last-minute video for you before our full slate of games on Week 16. Now, I've got some defensive streaming options and some quarterback streaming options because I know that the quarterback position is very thin right now. And obviously, if you follow my channel, you know I like to stream a defense, so I like to give defensive streaming options as often as I possibly can. So I'm going to start right here with the quarterbacks. Now, I have three quarterbacks this week that I think are must-start quarterbacks. Now, I also have obvious must-start quarterbacks, and I want to stress the importance that if you have these guys, you're playing them, right? But honestly, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have underperformed this year and all these injuries, and the position is a lot thinner. So you might not have an obvious must-start quarterback. But if you have Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, who obviously already played, Dak Prescott, or Lamar Jackson, those are my obvious must-starts. You're going to play them no matter what. Do not play the guys that I have on this list that I'm about to give you over these top four guys. But if you don't have one of these top four guys, the position is sort of up to your interpretation at this point. And I've got three streamers that might not be starters every week that should go off this week. So I'm going to start right here with the first one on my list, and that's Tua Tagovailoa. Now, this guy has been hyper inconsistent this year, definitely displayed a high ceiling. We know he's in a ridiculously explosive offense, but this is going to be one of the higher scoring games on the slate. Look for the Dallas Cowboys offense to bounce back. They're not going to be held back 2 weeks in a row. Okay, this is going to be a game that could very easily be the highest scoring game on the slate. It has massive shootout potential. You want offensive studs on both sides of the ball in this game. You're not sitting anybody. Waddle, Achane, Tyreek, Mostert, they're all obviously in your lineup. The only real question is Tua because he's inconsistent on a weekly basis, but this is the week where you want to start him. So if you don't have one of these obvious must-starts, I think that Tua is one of the best options to stream at quarterback this week. So make sure to plug him in if you want to win. And then probably my best quarterback streamer of the week is Justin Fields. I mean, goodness gracious, this matchup against Arizona is a smash matchup. They can easily give up 100 yards rushing to Justin Fields on the ground. If he took off and ran for 100 yards in this game, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. They have a terrible pass defense. They give up tons of yards against the pass. We've seen it all season long. The Bears should be able to dismantle this Arizona defense. The Bears can score 40 points in this game quite easily. Justin Fields could be the quarterback one on the week. If you don't have one of these top four automatic studs that you play every single week, you want to start Justin Fields. And yeah, I mean, I almost wanted to put him as an obvious must start this week, but he's still a streaming option because he's not a guy that we start every week. You know what I'm saying? So Justin Fields, great streaming option this week. Next player on my list is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Now, obviously, he's dealt with some injuries lately. He was in the concussion protocol. I haven't checked in the last few hours, but last time I checked, he was still technically questionable for the upcoming game tomorrow. But I think he was trending in the right direction of most likely playing. I think it's very likely that Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing this week. With that being said, he's also going up against a defense that gives up tons of yards against the pass. This is one of the best matchups all year. I even like starting Calvin Ridley in this game. That's kind of a different topic, but I think that both Evan Ingram and Calvin Ridley are going to have huge games. I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a huge game. If you don't have an automatic set it and forget it quarterback, plug Trevor Lawrence in with confidence. I think he's going to be a huge week. I know he's been highly unreliable this year, but I really want to go with my gut here, and my gut is telling me that Trevor Lawrence is going to be one of the top quarterbacks this week. So if you need a streamer, he's a great option. If I were to put these guys in order, I would go Justin Fields, then Tua, then Trevor Lawrence. So that should be the order of priority that you want to play these guys in if you have access to them. Next, I'm going to get into my must-start defenses. Now, I love the Broncos against the Patriots. I think a lot of people like this matchup. The Broncos obviously haven't been a defense that you've wanted to play every single week this season, but they've definitely started to come around. They've gotten better as the season's gone along, and the New England Patriots are absolutely helpless. They cannot move the football whatsoever. I think this is a smash matchup for the Broncos. I stream a defense pretty much every week. I'm streaming the Broncos in multiple leagues. Do so with confidence. Next on my list is going to be the Packers and the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers, they've won 2 games this year. Their offense has been abysmal. They just won a game 9-7. This offense is terrible. Right now, the Packers defense, they've, been up and down a little bit this season, but you know how it is. At the defensive position, you want to play the matchup more so than you do anything. Anyone who's going up against the Carolina Panthers, just about any NFL defense should be one of the top options on the week if they're going up against the Carolina Panthers. This is a smash matchup for the Packers. They could be one of the highest scoring units on the week. Their pass rushers should definitely be able to get after Bryce Young. I see him getting sacked multiple times in this game, a potential pick six, maybe a fumble recovery, ran in for a touchdown. I see a massive game for the Packers defense. Next and final defense on my list is going to be the Colts against Atlanta. Atlanta is a poorly coached team. They've got some offensive weapons, but Arthur Smith is kind of a joke. He really doesn't know how to run his offense. He doesn't feed Bijan enough. They drafted him really highly, and he's been a fantasy disappointment. Drake London is a highly inconsistent wide receiver one. Kyle Pitts is supposed to be a fantasy monster. He really hasn't been that this year. The team just really hasn't been able to get it together on offense, and it starts with poor coaching and just no quarterback play. I mean, they've been rotating out Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. This is not a good football team because you can't be good with a bad coach and a bad quarterback. That's exactly what they have. You want to start any defense going up against Atlanta, and the Colts have a pretty good defense. They have a defense that could definitely give you those splash plays and pick sixes and turn the ball over and everything like that. So I love the Colts against Atlanta this week. I think it's a smash matchup. Now, if you have one of the super obvious defenses that you play every single week, play those. These are defenses that are more like streaming options. Like if you don't have that set it and forget it defense that you're going to play every week. But even then, at the defensive position, you want to play matchups. These matchups are amazing. These are the worst offenses in the NFL that these teams are going against. If you need a defensive streaming option and you're in a league where people aren't paying attention, grab these defenses off the waiver wire and plug them in if you want to win. All right, guys, good luck tomorrow.